Hey guys, Marsingin here, bringing another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video. And so we got an announcement in the news earlier today for the upcoming maintenance on Global. This will be taking place on Tuesday morning for me over here in the UK. It begins just after midnight and goes until 5 AM. Of course, this is to essentially usher in all of the stuff for Dokkan Day. We usually do get a maintenance right before Dokkan Day starts. However, this could also be the data download that brings into the game all of the stuff for the next upcoming Dokkan Fest. So obviously we are getting to the end of the Transcendent Dokkan campaign here, getting to the end of September. There are only 30 days in September, so Dokkan Day is the final day of the month, and then we will be moving into October. Now, this obviously falls on the Tuesday here for me. This was obviously like late evening or late afternoon, depending on where you are in certain parts of the US. But as we move into October, we are expecting, of course, to get a new Dokkan Fest, although we don't know exactly who the Dokkan Fest is going to be. We're going to talk about that a little bit here as well. But as we move into this time, we know that for Dokkan Day, we can see from the data download, like Proton's breakdown thread, we are getting the Dokkan Day tickets. And obviously they are not for the banner that is currently out, right? Because obviously the newest banner that's still out as of right now is the Part 2 Double Rates Carnival banner. And that was Special Ticket 8. So Special Ticket 9 is in the global data download. So obviously these will be coming for the end of September Dokkan Day. There's nothing else to indicate. Obviously everything else in the data download was the Petan battle stuff, and then obviously the new stages. We've got the Red Zone stages, the new Infinite Dragon Ball History stage is coming out a little bit later this week, a couple of days from now in fact. So nothing else really indicative in here of what we're potentially going to see, but the fact that the Dokkan Day tickets have been added in already is certainly interesting. I actually remember Rick made a post about it here, so don't know why Global added the Dokkan Day stuff so early, since I expected the next data download to be hours before Dokkan Day, and JP didn't add it. So he's actually right, because of course the maintenance that's just been announced is right before Dokkan Day starts. So we're not going to be getting a Dokkan. This is interesting. Global might have a maintenance in the middle of Dokkan Day. I guess technically it is, at least for me in my time zone. Because yeah, Dokkan Day I guess technically starts when the reset happens at midnight, but then the maintenance happens like 30 minutes later. So apparently the missions have been extended, because obviously the maintenance is going to be for like 4 hours. So the missions have been extended for 4 hours. And the ticket description obviously just says the tickets are for the upcoming summon event. So I think the reason why the ticket description is like that is to not spoil the next Dokkan Fest before the reveal, since Global's ticket descriptions usually include the character name. So it'll probably be updated with the data download. So when the data download actually hits, these tickets, like, it will then change to, like, say, can be used for the whatever the banner is called, right? So once the data download happens, we should know exactly. But if the data download is happening right before, or like as Saiyan Day begins, Saiyan Day is then dropping. I keep saying Saiyan Day. Dokkan Day is dropping, and then we're getting these free tickets. They should be for the next upcoming Dokkan Fest. Now, for the last like couple of celebrations, if we look back to the previous year's calendar, things have actually seemed to be dropping like a couple of days earlier than scheduled. Because if we take a look here at the previous year's schedules for the October Dokkan Fest, all the way back to 2020, we've got the Angel Frieza, which is on the 5th. If we go to 2021, Kale and Caulifla were on the 5th. 2022, Path to Power Kid Goku was on the 4th. And then 2023, the Int androids were on the 5th. But then last year, it was actually the Scout of Vegeta, and he dropped on the 3rd. Unfortunately, the wiki doesn't get updated as much anymore. Oh, these pages actually have been updated now. Maybe they've started doing it again. But yeah, this guy dropped on the 3rd. So over the couple of years, there's been that little bit of like a 2 to 3 day sort of period where the unit could drop. If this unit comes out like on Dokkan Day, that would be another couple of days early. But that's not outside the realms of possibility for when the actual unit could drop. In fact, if I take a look at the news in game for the actual the banner for the part 2, because obviously the Rising Dragon Carnival is currently out, and that banner goes up until the morning of the 30th. So it's then very possible that the new banner comes out like right after the Dragon Carnival goes away, or it could be the next day. Now the thing is, we have had in the past, on certain occasions, we have had tickets drop that will be used for banners that actually haven't come out yet. So just because those special ticket 9 are dropping on the 30th, it doesn't mean that the new unit is definitely coming out on the 30th. However, that is something that we now have to consider as a possibility. So the thing is, if the unit's going to come out on the 30th, that means that realistically, by the end of this week, like by the time we get to the end of the weekend, they should have actually revealed who the character is going to be. Because if it's going to drop on the 30th, normal scheduling means that the Twitter reveal of like the full details and the animations and stuff is usually 2 days before the unit comes out, and the Sunday is going to be the 28th. So if that unit is going to drop on the 30th, by the end of the weekend we should actually know who the unit is and potentially have seen their kit already as well, which is certainly very interesting. So obviously let me know down below in the comment section, do you think the new unit is going to come out on the 30th with Dokkan Day? And the big question is, who do you think the unit will be? So there's a couple of different options here that I've brought up, and chat has mentioned some. Obviously we speculate all the time on this kind of stuff, and the big thing is the fact that when it comes to the filler Dokkan Fests, I feel like there is no real way to guess, because it really could be anything, right? Like no one, obviously they posted the hint and everything, but like no one would have predicted like, oh yeah, the next filler Dokkan Fest is going to be Mercenary Tau, like earlier this year, right? Like, so it could literally be anything. But there's a couple of options that I think would be interesting. Tapion is a big one that we've talked about a few times. I feel like a filler Tapion makes sense for a Dokkan Fest. We've just had a bunch of movie heroes and movie bosses buffs. The LR Tapion and Minosha are in line for an Easy A. And as I mentioned the other day when we were talking about potential movie heroes Easy A's for this celebration, these guys could be really useful with their active skill and everything, but the restriction for it really sucks unless you've got like a Tapion on the team, and there aren't really any meta relevant Tapions. So these guys really should Easy A with the release of a new Tapion. And I think because we just had the movie heroes movie bosses team get that big buff, I would love to see a new version of this kind of Tapion, right, where he transforms into Harudagon, but make it an active skill, right, so you can use it at a certain time, but you can use it when you actually want to, because then we get that free turn where the enemy can't do damage and you're going to cancel out supers and stuff like that. And also, interestingly, this unit, because it's Tapion and Harudagon, this unit is on movie bosses and movie heroes, which is something we didn't really see much at all, even after this guy's release, right? But with the new Frieza and Gogeta being a similar sort of thing, I think this would be very cool for this guy to be a unit that we get to see very, very soon. We also talked about last night on my second channel stream. Do check out my second channel, Ningen Plays, if you want to see me do non-Dokkan stuff. But we were talking about the possibility of a Dokkan Fest Dabura, because again, he feels like a good sort of filler character for a Dokkan Fest. Extreme Demonic Power, like Demonic Power is a team that got a lot of buffs towards the end of last year and could do with another big buff, especially if they focus his passive and everything on extreme allies rather than it just being Demonic Power. But I feel like Dabura could be pretty good. There's a couple of the Heroes Easy A's for this year, like the Robel, who would be quite a good pairing like for him with some of his links. And also someone had a really good idea. Imagine him getting like the Stone Spit like ability as an active skill that is then like a Ghost Usher ability, right, where you cancel out the enemy attacks for the turn. I think that would be very cool and obviously give this guy a lot of utility. His links aren't great, but I guess for an extreme team like Brutal Beatdown, Nightmare, Fear and Faith, Fierce Battle, like not completely terrible. Things like Martian Resurrection Plan are obviously absolutely awful, but a Dabura could be kind of interesting. Garlic Jr. is one that gets brought up all the time. Like we literally only have the mini version as the SSR, and then he just awakens into the buff version. So I could see a Dokkan Fest being the mini one that transforms, give this guy an easy A, give that AGL Kid Gohan an easy A. That would be a pretty solid option. And then, of course, you know, how could we not mention Baby, right? Baby is probably one of the units that is, like, the most anticipated for getting a Dokkan Fest. Ideally a Super Baby 2 or like a Super Baby 1 that transforms into Super Baby 2. We don't need another one that is Super Baby 2 brackets Giant Ape. Maybe you could have a Giant Ape like transformation, active skill, attack. So he gets the Giant Ape power category, but isn't in the name, who knows. But, you know, we gotta mention Baby when it comes to every single next Dokkan Fest prediction, because people have been waiting for this guy for a very long time. Also, people talked about Android 13, because of course he just randomly released in Legends. It's been a while since Dokkan and Legends have been doing the thing where like they constantly release the same sort of thing at the same time. That used to be a big thing for a while, but I feel like it doesn't happen as much anymore. So I don't necessarily think this is a super high possibility just because Legends is doing it. But remember, we do also have a lot of Android EZAs that are scheduled to be coming soon, like the Tech 17 and 18, the Tech LR Super 17. So getting an Android Dokkan Fest would make a lot of sense to then give us those EZAs. We also had a couple of other things mentioned in chat, like Nappa, because then Raditz could get his EZA. Krillin still doesn't have a Dokkan Fest. There's a lot of interesting options for a filler Dokkan Fest. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Who would you most want to see as the Dokkan Fest coming up within the next week or so? And like I say, do you think it's going to drop on Dokkan Day? Do you think we're going to get the tickets and the banner drops like a day or two after? Let me know all your thoughts down below in the comment section. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, check out the links down below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.